Hello, my dear Aries. So I very rarely do this, but I found your decks so interesting as I was shuffling. So we have almost all of these cards saying the same message. So I wanted to show you this. This is the Wizard card, and he's all about the dream time and manifesting. Then we have your Great Mystery, which is that crack in the universe where you're able to tap into original source energy. We then have openness here, which is being open to universal sources and your higher self and your spirit team. And then we have here practical intuition, where she's cultivating something with this really ancient wisdom. And she has this labyrinth here, and the moon is high, and we have the standing stones here as well. So again, just that intuition and that open channel. And then similarly, we have this destiny card where there's like this altar and the heart, and then this mystical female kind of figure, and she has the eagle above her head, which is about messages from the spirit realm, her heart here on this tomb, and the message is destiny, so following your core purpose, your core mission. Then there's a couple other concepts. I didn't bring out all of the cards because of course we need to leave some mystery, right, for when we dive into your reading. But then this one caught my eye too. It says Bone Collector, and I really love how there's a rabbit by the side of both of these wise elders. So an interesting combination there. And this message here is, again, sacred symbols, sitting within the sacred symbols, having this aura sort of radiating from this person, and really having an established bond with the earth elements and with life itself. And then the last one here is, you belong to paradise. And we have this blossoming that's happening here. So I think the Bone Collector is about collecting your past experiences as you're moving towards this destiny, this end goal that you're working towards, and really focusing on who you are as a person, what you're here to do, and being open to alternate sources of income or alternate sources of inspiration. So I'll get your cards laid out for you. Give me just one moment here. Okay, Aries, I hope that saved a little bit of time for me to pause the video to get your cards on the table. I have not looked at them. I'm hoping that, of course, this message finds you well, and that you're enjoying this new energy that March brings for us. This is actually my several attempt at getting this video uploaded, simply because I had a cold for a little while, so I do apologize if I end up clearing my throat a little bit or having any sniffling type issues. Oh no, my lighter's dead. Well, Palo Santo it is. We got a little bit there from the Palo Santo. Okay, not a problem. We'll get that cleared, that energy space cleared out. And just take this moment to really get comfortable and also to release expectations for the reading. I find that the message oftentimes finds us in the time that it needs to. So really trusting that divine timing. And then we'll go through here what the positions are. This is your center, or the basis of the whole reading. This will be your past. We have your mindset here, messages from the spirit realm, and this is your forward movement or next action step. And then here we have the Lenormand, and it's just read as a sentence, and it will give us a deeper understanding of the storyline of what's going on for you. So, right in the center here, we have strength, personal strength. And I really love this card. This is about self-acceptance and about seeing how far that you've come and looking down that mountain slope and saying, oh my gosh, yes, I finally have made it. And we very rarely do that for ourselves. It's usually, okay, I've climbed this far, now look at how much farther I have to go. And you get to the top of the mountain, and unless you're on Everest, there's always a higher mountain to climb, right? Figuratively. So you get to the top of the ladder in your workspace, and then you want to be an entrepreneur, and then you begin to launch that business, and then you miss your job, or your bank account misses your job. There's just so many things that keep us from really looking in the mirror and saying, you did it. You have this endurance, you have this strength, good for you, which is the optimal space really for manifesting. So let's go into your past here. We have empowerment and earth connection. And we saw that in one of the cards that was on the table at the very beginning. So I love this earth connection here, and there's a very wise energy behind that. So you've really been establishing sort of your connection to the earth, to the mountains that you're climbing. It's a very spiritual connection that you have to your work, that you have to your surroundings. Your emotional center is there. So it's just a matter now of, it seems, bridging a gap. It's like there's something that you're looking to accomplish here. And in your mindset, we have new abilities. And this makes me very happy. It's a peyote ceremony. We actually don't recommend that you do peyote. It actually can cause different heart defects and things like that if done often. So just once or twice a lifetime is fine, but they have linked it to a couple of different health issues. But essentially, the ceremony itself is made to do a deep dive. This is the water bird, which is the symbol of the Native American church. And the flower here, which is like that mandala of the flower of life, you're diving into that. So you could be looking into new things, mandalas or chakra systems or human design or Akashic records or something that just takes your understanding to the next level. This one was in the reverse, so we're going to leave it that way for now. And then we have Rites of Passage. Beautiful. Very similar energies right here. So again, making that climb, climbing the mountain, doing so for the endurance factor, doing so that you know that you can, and giving yourself that pat on the back saying, I've made it. You know, again, it's like once you get to the top of this red road, then you go up to the blue road. And in Native American theology, which is the basis of this deck here, we have the cradle board, which is where they held the babies. And then the red road is the physical plane. And here we see somebody up here on this pedestal, and they have their spirit going up, and now they're on the blue road, and the blue road is the spirit realms. So we have almost the same depiction here as well. This mountain is glowing sort of red, and the distance is blue. So really the message there is the only way out, or the only climb that you can really make, is the ending of this lifetime. So don't be in a hurry for that, okay? And your next step here is sacred space, which leads you back to this here. It's sort of the same thing, going on a rites of passage journey, vision quest, if you will, and we see that here as well. So you feel empowered by doing things that sort of prove your endurance, and you're being asked to look at that spiritually. What is that for you? Are you diving into XYZ research? Are you diving into this experience? And all in all, it just brings you to this state where you're in this little circle here, which is the medicine wheel, which is exactly what we're doing here with these quadrants. So you're going through a pretty intense transition of some kind. So just be careful not to be in resistance to new energy coming in. It does seem that the overall goal is this here, excuse me, which is really this, I love the circle. I love seeing the circle in cards, the number 0, back to the beginning, back to basics, you know, back to the prophecy, back to the culture, back to the ancient ways. It's like such a sacred thing. And that's what both of these people are doing. We have the child here in the circle, and then we have the grandmother here in the circle as well. And there's this spirit that's happening. There's this beautiful ignition that's happening, and it's calling upon the higher sources, the higher realms. So it's interesting. I just noticed this is an egg wrapped in leather or something here with the rabbit. So it's interesting. That just reminded me of Easter, which is right around the corner. So we could be seeing something with that come through. So let's see what the story is for you, Aries. The key, which is about you holding the key to your truth. The life tree, which is about DNA. These are DNA codes here. and it's a series of 12. The child, and we see the child over there as well. So it could be some inner child stuff. The mountain, wow, very cool. So the mountain is just challenges, endurance, stamina, ability to move on. We have the lilies, which is good tidings, usually coming from the elders. So very wise elderly energy coming here. Could be the wisest part of you, the part of you that's connected to the divine, or it could be a member of your spirit team coming through to give you that support. And a lot of times that's really maternal energy with the lilies, more so than the bouquet, which is similar, but the lilies is a little bit more, it's like this double layer, as you can see here, with the stained glass, and then the lilies sort of on top of it. So it's just a little bit of a powerful, I'm just hearing the word endurance. So a lot of you, I think, may be getting close to burnout. And we have the home here at the end of your sequence, and it was in the reverse. So good tidings at home, which is good. So what do we have here that is reversed? We have the child, and we have the home, which is reversed. Very interesting. Okay, let's dive a little deeper. We'll come back to those things. Let's go into what it is that is ready to come forward for you. What was in the past that maybe was a little bit suppressed up until now? What lessons may be subconscious? Liberation. Okay, so there's an aspect of freedom here, and it says free yourself. And I'm called to the 1 and the 3. We've had lots of 3s and lots of 4s. 2 and 1 is 3. We have a double 3 here, 1 and 3 there. We have the 4, 2 and 1 equals 3, 4, 4, 4, 3, 0. Okay, and a 3 here in the center. So some of you may have the angel number of 3, or maybe 4 as well. So at the bottom here, and this one is a 2, 6. So 6 divided by 2 being 3. Protection, set personal boundaries. And this one here is free yourself. Okay, and this bird is the swan. And the swan is all about grace, elegance, and a free-flowing, graceful energy on this physical plane. So there's something about that flow, that feeling of freedom, that is somehow holding you back. Okay, and so it could be having to do with other people, because we have this boundary coming forward for you, that maybe there's a part of you that doesn't think that you can do it. Again, you're just kind of getting to the halfway point, and instead of looking back and being like, wow, look how far I've come, like, look at this massive mountain that I've climbed, it's more like, oh, well, I've only made it this far, you know? So again, just sort of that looking back and being very proud. And then this here was the bottom of the deck before I shuffled, or, you know, at the beginning of the video before I got your spread out here. And it has a 2 and a 4, so the 4 is coming through again. You belong to paradise, and we have this blossoming energy happening here, which I feel is serendipitous with this one here, the Peyote Ceremony. I'm not sure why I couldn't say that. It was like my psyche wanted to say another word. Maybe it'll come forward later. Okay, so let's go ahead with the, I don't want to say the spirit realm messages. Everything above this line here, I like to say as spirit messages, but this is more about your goal. So your big goal. And so what do we have for Aries? In their mindset, their cognitive energy. I was hoping maybe he would come out again. So here is the water bird. Embracing you. That's what this is. So embracing new abilities is more about finding. You know, it's not about finding. That's what I want to say. It's not about finding the abilities that you have. It's about embracing parts of you that you may not even know yet. So you could have parts of you, and look at how cool, just with that long neck. I really just love how encompassing this is. So the water birds are known for going around with their long legs looking down at the water. So of course, traditionally, their medicine is about self-reflection. So you really need to watch your inner self talk. I think there's a part of you that's talking yourself out of stuff. And instead really embrace every aspect of you, aspects of your magic, miracles that happen within you. You are becoming more and more aware of it. So I'm going to flip that right side up. And let's see what's on the bottom here. A release. I love how the colors are so serendipitous with this red. This bright, vibrant red is your physical, your physical experience here on this earth. And we're meant to move energy. We're meant to transcend energy for ourselves and for others. So it's like, how beautiful is the season of fall, so it can show us how to release what no longer serves us. The trees don't mourn their dead leaves, they just embrace it and they trust their gut. So there's a part of you here with this empowerment card and this strength card where you're just sort of in this zone of go, go, go. And it's really not assisting you at all. Actually, your health is here. So your health is of concern or of focus, as well as the reflection that you have of self and how far you've come. And then we have the child and the home, which could just be feeling a little bit burdensome, could just feeling a little bit confusion, something like that. And then at the bottom of the deck where we began, so I'll leave that one there, but when we began, it was this openness card. Being open to new avenues, being open to new communication of your higher sources, being open to utilizing your intuition radically. I mean, just being radically optimistic and down to just this absolutely baffling energy of I can, I will, I came to conquer, that's what I'm going to do. When I look in the mirror, I am proud. I know that I have the key to unlock all of the things that I need to in order to make this climb and make it. Maybe some of you with the sacred space there, and then also the house, maybe you're looking to move houses and move to another space, maybe in that end goal. So let's dive in now to the messages from the spirit realm. Okay, 2 of them. Okay. At the bottom of the deck here we have union. You have seen and unseen allies. Draw upon their strength. Join forces with friends and you will flourish. I love that so much because joining hands does not signify any kind of weakness. And I think sometimes asking for help is just something that people aren't always willing to do. So the first one that came out is action. It says, stop hesitating. Movement creates the magic. Nothing can hold you back. Very cool. So liberating yourself. We have these white animals here. So purity and really that indication of the fifth world of peace. And you'll hear me talk about that quite a bit. It's just a prophecy with Native American culture saying that the third generation of the colonizers would wear beads in their hair, colors on their skin, and they would make the earth green again. And it does seem that this is very much you're very connected, Aries, to the earth connection here with the power place. And this is about going on a drive and just pulling over the car and just sitting there with yourself and the earth and just feeling that connection and really rooting yourself. And then finding the parts of you that are worth celebrating, because that is your initial key, your key to success, your key to understanding what to do next and to trust yourself to take that action. And then we have here clarity, which makes sense so much with some of these from the bottom of the deck here, that we're all about intuition and basically space, the other worlds, the other side, spirit realms, spirit guides, being able to tap into that original source energy, that great mystery. And I really love that word for it. Some people, you know, get kind of hung up on the word God or, you know, universe even. I like to say spirit teams and just to have it very open, very vague, because I'm not here to tell you what to believe. I'm just here to kind of help you solidify that belief. And I am a spiritual online coach. So if you're looking to really expand in any of these areas and gain this clarity, then check out the description because I have a couple of things there. So it says, banish the fog of illusion, open your eyes to the truth, remember the perfection of who you are. Very cool. Okay, so many repeat messages here. Remember who the F you are. Straighten up your crown. Realize how far that you have come. And start to see yourself as this magical person. In the coaching world, we like to throw around the word magical unicorn. You are a magical unicorn, just believe it. So it's kind of funny there. Now let's go into what is ready to be expressed outwardly. What are you expressing? Oh, hello. Okay, thoughts. What is coming through here? As I mentioned before, with this feeling of you sort of holding yourself back, I think you are getting into your own head. I think you may be studying a lot. I mean, everything in here that has a head or a face or a person is almost always looking down, except for your universal source there, which is saying clarity, which is saying banish the fog of illusion, open your eyes to the truth, remember the perfection of who you are. In all of these, you're sort of looking down. You're looking down towards this east shield here, which is very cool, which I just mean part of the medicine wheel. We're looking down here, but not on how far we've come, but more in like a little bit of a desperation mode. And then we have looking away, and then we have looking down here. So I think that you feel limited, even if you're not. I think that some of you are feeling a little bit of burnout from making the climb, from prioritizing children, or maybe there's some inner child stuff going on. The children or the child card feels a little heavy in some way, just because it's reversed, of course. So it's just a little bit less positive, I suppose. So many of you may be attempting to manifest a child, and so we have the health here, health and the child going together. If that's you, it's just going to be a little bit challenging, and just focus on your home and making that home a nice, safe space, and then finding the key within yourself. So something's going on within your psyche that's sort of holding that back for you. And then at the bottom of the deck here, we have Innocence. And this is such a sweet, cute card. I find it to be like an old post stamp, and it's just so cute. But there's this adventure to the innocence of our children, right? We have children here. So I think this could be inner child work for you. And if you're looking to manifest a child, I would just suggest for you to reach out to me for a personal reading, because on a general reading, I don't want to assume that that's the majority. I think the majority would be inner child work or children at home, but some of you may be manifesting children, and I know that that's very heavy. So reach out to me if that is you. We can do a personal reading. It looks just like this, but I just go a little tiny bit deeper, and again, it's just your energy alone. So you'd get that very specific channeled message. Okay, so the innocence, coming back to adventure, coming back to what lights you up, going back to basics. Again, this is like that childhood innocence. What would you do if you had millions of dollars in the bank and you had the excitement of a child? That's what the universe asks of us every single day. How can we simplify? Okay, next step here, we're going to get into the momentum. What is driving you forward, Aries? And at the bottom of the deck, before I shuffle, we have this Mourning card. A very interesting energy, and it kind of reminds me of this energy here. Just for you, it's not always with this card that I get this, but just the energy I'm feeling off of it today. It's sort of like, it's the underlying energy. And I just did a really extensive live video on underlying energies in my Facebook group. If you're interested in that, come hang out with us. It's a online private group for spiritual entrepreneurs. And so I'll put the link down there today as well. But essentially, it's about the energy that lies behind what it is that you want. If you're manifesting something massive, say maybe $1 million dream, which many of my clients are, so I think that might be most of you, it's really hard sometimes not to get into this energy here where it's like, my cup is empty. I have been making this climb and working 7 jobs and taking care of so many things. So that's sort of my story as well. I've been doing the online entrepreneurship journey full-time for a few years now, and there's just nothing like it. It's just so beautiful, but it's very hard as well. People say you'll never work harder than you do as an entrepreneur, and never in a 9-to-5 would you ever work as hard. So we have the journey card here, which is actually the death card of this deck. So something is ready to be released, and I think it's this energy here that was at the bottom. So I'm going to add that here. So being motivated by not failing is really not the energy we want. Instead, I love this card so much. It looks so silly. It's like this really wild person. But again, this is that person who knows the land like the back of his hand. This is someone who's been living out in the boondocks in this wiki up for, who knows how long, and they don't even know humanity anymore. They know their craft so well, and in this case it's bushcraft, which is kind of a nickname that we have here for people who just live feral. So kind of funny. And again, this could just be equivalent to your industry. This is you gaining that respect for whatever it is that you're grounded into, whatever it is that you've been researching and persevering towards for such a long time. Okay, and at the bottom of the deck here we have ecstasy, and this is about a celebration of the journey ahead. And just, imagine if you had this energy and you got to this point, right? Like there's just 2 ways that you can look at life, and here they are. So this woman here, she's got the beads on and she's got colors, and she just took her shoes off and she's just ready to prance and dance under the stars and enjoy this journey called life. And this one here is like, oh, again, oh, is tomorrow another day? Do I really go on tomorrow? And it's a difficult thing. It really is, especially for mama bears. For any of you on here who are mothers or manifesting children, it's a whole nother level of taking care of business and responsibility. So I think it's going to be very important for you, Aries, to just be very easy on yourself in this next coming time for this month, because there's a lot of facets to what's going on here, and most of it is the rhythm within you as you're making this climb. If you're making this climb from a place of liberation and freedom and ecstasy and dancing, you're going to be able to see with a clear view what your next action step is, because the universe definitely wants you to have this dream, whether it's $1 million dream or it's just getting the child or manifesting this, that, or the other thing. It is your destiny to have it. And we have this beating heart here at the top, and this eagle up over her head, which again is that universal source energy. So no matter what, it's going to be very important for you to connect to your higher sources at this time. But this is going to be the aspects of self that's really coming forward to assist you now. Abundance. I love seeing this for Aries because you guys are the leaders of the zodiac. You are the firstborn. You are the strength leaders and the rites of passage leaders. You're here to show people how it's done. And my mantra has been, good people do good things with money. And I think that you will too. Heck, I know you will, because we have that destiny card. And then at the bottom of the deck here, we have the Father. So an interesting conundrum there, or synchronicity, with the child and the home, and now we have the Father. And the Father came right here with this respect card here. So a very masculine energy right here with action. And that's really the quadrant that this represents as far as the placement in this spread. This entire half or quarter of the reading is that fire element of summer and really taking action on your goals and your dreams. And it looks to me as though you're not stopping. You are here to get into that masculine energy and to create that thought process into the world, into the physical. So you're bridging that gap between what is your thought process and what is the action to be taken next. And at the bottom of the deck here, we have desire. A very similar message to what was at the bottom of the deck before. We still have a hawk here, source messages, and then we have a variety of other animals, including this dragon here and the lotus flower. So desire is the key word there, and your desire will guide you. Just trust where you're being called, and the universe is going to take you there. So let's see what animals are coming through for you. And at first we have the lizard, which is about dreaming. The legend says that if he thought hard enough, he could manifest a mouse to be right next to him, so the snake or the bird or the owl would eat the mouse and not him. So he has this ability to sort of trick the universe or to manifest very, very strongly, very easily. So let's see what you're being called to. Oh my goodness. Abundance. I almost like lost my breath there. Look at how powerful this is. This is what's meant for you, Aries. You are meant to feel success. You're meant to be completely and totally encompassed by this beautiful growth. And you have this ability to look back on how far you've come. And I keep coming back to that because I feel like it's all over this reading with the earth connection, the rites of passage, the mountain, the strength card, the respect card even. But it is an earthy balance. You're here to really balance the physical and the mental, the emotional and the spiritual. What do those concepts mean to you, and how can you manifest them into your world? And I want to apologize if you guys hear really heavy breathing. My dog is asleep next to me, and he is a husky. He doesn't like that we have a heater. So he gets very hot. So he's panting. Okay, next we have the skunk, which is about reputation. Very interesting to come forward for you. Right here is going to be where it is, and it's next to the action step. So again, there's this second guessing energy where you are keeping yourself stuck, perhaps because you're worried about other people's opinions or other people looking in and seeing how far you've come and judging somehow or another. And I'll tell you something that a coach said to me that changed everything for my whole business when I was first beginning. And I said, you know, if I share this, people are going to think I'm crazy. And if I talk about these things that I'm doing, if I talk about this mountain that I'm climbing, you know, people will think I'm nuts. And she just looked at me and she said, people don't care. They don't care. And it was really liberating for me at the time, because I did think that people would stop on my posts on what I was sharing and they would be like, wow, she's nuts. But really, if you think about it, if someone sees something they don't like, they continue scrolling. and no harm comes to us. I mean, some of us have those family members that will reach out to us for harsh language, or, you know, say, hey, can I make a suggestion here or there? But you also had the boundaries card that came forward. And that is what made me think that maybe the liberation part was about somebody else, about somebody outside of you. And all in all, personal boundaries and personal protection is so important. And it's something that I teach my clients from day one. And I think that having those boundaries are going to help you, really understand what is meant for you, what you are made for, which is this higher destiny, and your desires coming true. So really, holding yourself back is doing a massive disservice to the world. And then at the bottom of the deck here, we have cleansing. So something to be let go of in terms of emotion, emotional turmoil, the second guessing coming through very strongly here, the thought processes, feeling that you're not good enough, feeling that worthiness piece. Something that I love from Amanda Francis, another coach that I follow. She's so big, she's massive, so you should definitely look her up. But she has lots of courses, lots of offers. But all in all, she says, I'm worthy because I am. That's it. It's so simple. It's so simple. But you're really diving in and looking at the magic that lives within you. And once you realize that when you're looking at yourself and your reflection is cleansed and clear, full of clarity, what you are left with here is absolute abundance and having a freedom lifestyle. And that is overall where it is that you are headed and what you are gravitated towards anyway. And it looks to me like whatever it is that is not serving you, whatever it is that's ready to be released, is this inability here to see the magic in the mundane day to day. You know, they say that only 8% of the world's population has a refrigerator. So whenever you're feeling down or you're feeling sad, you can think to yourself, I might not be part of the 1% that has billions of dollars and money in the bank and the ability to live a freedom lifestyle and the ability to break free of these challenges and get away from these thoughts because I'm finally there. You may not be the 1%, but you are likely to be the 8%. And you can feel really good about that. You've been given this beautiful opportunity. So get yourself into that mindset of good, positive things are coming. Keep your mindset positive. And we're going to get one more card here on the table, which is going to indicate how you can best reach your higher sources. And we have movement. Oh, wow. I really love this. Let me get some of these decks out of the way. Okay. I'm going to read this one again because it's very similar energy. Stop hesitating. Movement creates magic. Nothing can hold you back. That is so beautiful. I knew I wanted to pull this card again, and it says movement creates the magic. So the more that you take action, and the more that you follow your desire, you follow your dreams, you follow your goals, the more that you're manifesting, the closer you're going to get to your higher sources and to this wisdom that's here with your higher sources and with great mystery, or your spirit team, people who have passed on, perhaps maternal grandmothers, because we do see that here, and with the child as well. There's a lot of feminine energy here. There's masculine energy too, the father, and I didn't want to focus on that too much because I don't think for many of you, maybe some of you, if you have a father that's passed on, that could be because this is a lot of times past loved ones. But it's also very much in the left brain, and it's just that masculine energy of self that wants to have the endurance, that wants to provide for family, that wants to progress and it can lead you to be in your own head, which is sort of where I gravitate towards with that. But wow, okay, I just had these pulled, and I was thinking, because I mentioned the Akashic Records, and I was going to go into that and say these here, going through the realms or traveling upwards like she does here, reminds me so much of the Akashic Records course. And here we have the education piece with the water bird and a little fairy here. So with a 3 and a 5. Wow, this is a 5 as well. So 3, 2 and 1 is 3, 1 and 3 here, a 5, 3, 3, 1 and 3, 1 and 3 together again here. Wow, 2 and 1 equals 3. Yes, okay. And we have 3s here in both of these cards, and now a 3 here as well. So some of you are very called to the number 3. 3, 4, and 5 are coming forward very strongly for you. So this here is an indicator to me that you are looking deeper into yourself, into your self-mastery. And I teach the Akashic Records, and some people have heard of it, some people haven't. I'm just going to spill on it just a little bit because these are just too good to pass that up, especially with the dream time that you've been getting, destiny card, all of these ascension, spiritual ascension, and researching the inner workings of self. That's what we do in the Akashic Records. We connect to your spirit team, we open that channel and use it like a muscle. So week by week, it's a 6-week program. And every week we open you up a little bit more, a little bit more. And my clients have been going absolutely fantastic and having fantastic results, just having livid dreams that they can't even believe, and having conversations with their spirit guide, their spirit team. I love how these two girls are kind of in the same position, and we see that there with the sacred space. Oh my goodness, you all, I just noticed this. These two are right next to each other, and they have the same keyword. They kind of mean two different things to my psyche. The sacred space being, here's my boundaries, my personal boundaries, which we saw right here as well. Nobody can cross these lines. This is my protection. That's what sacred space means to me here, and respect that boundary. And here the respect is like, I've made it this far. Nobody will come in and tell me what I do and do not deserve. I deserve this because I've earned it, sort of energy there. But how crazy that they're very similar. And we see that here with the strength card of the person climbing the mountain. We have the mountain being climbed here. We have the mountain being climbed there. And this self-renewal, this self-reflection work. So many of you, it's very much time for you to start treating yourself with that inner respect and giving yourself that time to just kind of be checked out, preferably in nature if you can, or in meditation as well, either doing an Akashic Records course. This woman right here reminds me a lot of my visions, I guess you could say, when I'm in the records. It just takes you from being in this zone to immediately being in this zone here. This honestly reminds me of my Akashic Records too, because it's like this, it's kind of embarrassing, but it's like this fairy realm. And I just go there in my dreams and in my meditations. Whenever I do any kind of lucid dream meditation or a guided meditation of any kind, this is where I go. And I tap into that energy. And I'm an Aries, you guys. So this really resonates with me too, because I'm always investing in looking deeper into myself, into my soul. What are the keys that my inner being holds? What is it that I know to be true so that I can reach this end goal, this $1 million dream? And abundance is very much on the mind. It's a part of you, Aries. It's not something outside of yourself. This is something that lies within you. There's just a little bit of release work to do around the mourning and the journey itself. So I'm actually quite happy to see that the journey card is here, because there's this recognition that the journey is not supposed to be easy and breezy. It's also not supposed to take place only in your head. It is meant to be celebrated, this energy here. And, you know, we're really meant to do a lot of self-reflection work. So coming back to this education, I was going to say meditation. So perhaps for many of you, this is very much the same. Meditating on who you are at your core. If you have your business, what is your core message? And I'm also a business coach. I know I wear many hats, but I love business coaching because I love showing people what is possible. I've taken my business full time, working from home. So I'm at home with my children and practicing this for several years now. So this makes a lot of sense for me as well. And seeing all of these different long-legged birds, I just think that is just so fun. There's lots of birds here, and there was some on the bottom of the deck too, and this one here. Okay, my dear Aries, I'm going to put lots of things in the description box for you to reach out to me if you feel called to any of those things that I mentioned. I know I talked about a lot of different things, but if you're called to it, you will know. And you're being called to take action and to create movement in this striving that you're in. It's important for you to get out of your head and also connect to the earth. Connect to your source of clarity, which is in taking action. Does that mean take action on your goals? Not all the time. Does it mean taking action in your workplace? Not always. Does it mean taking action to clean the house? No. Taking action to get ahead? No. This is about taking action that is igniting your soul. I'm hearing things like going fishing, going hiking, sitting in a power place in nature, going outside and gardening, going out and physically hugging a tree. As silly as it sounds, you're ready to get to this energy here, and it's going to grab you and take you by storm and get you out of this thought process here, because you're ready to express these thoughts and you're ready to manifest this abundance. This is all in your mindset. You are upset, in a sense, that abundance has not yet been yours, but you're also holding back and you have been anchoring yourself to a fault, right? It's not a matter of carrying a burden up the mountain. You know, it's sort of like, what if we weren't meant to, sorry, my dog's breathing is getting in my head. It's just very loud for me. I'm hoping that you all can't hear it as well as I can. Okay, embrace the key that lies within you. Tap into your heart's strength and the strength of your body and get out of your own head a little bit, unless you are nurturing that feminine nature. So rather than thinking your way through it, feel your way through it. Go back to the emotion. Allow yourself to let go of anything that comes through that is not innately yours. If you have other people's opinions that make you feel icky or make you feel like you need to go take a nap and you feel drained, release that energy, because it is not yours and it's not yours to carry. So releasing burdens, seeing things through in a state of action, and coming back to that practical intuition, this wise old, elderly person who has gone through the climb, who has trial and error, who has experienced life from the inside out, and seeing that from a bigger picture, the bird's eye view, the universal source energy. Just imagine looking at yourself from that place, from great mystery, the universe looking at you as a daughter, as a child, as that inner innocence, and look at yourself from that state and say, you know, here are all the things that I know. Here are all of the things that I have researched about myself. And it is the key to my own happiness, and how to get from point A to point B lies within that journey. And we have 3, 3, 3, 4, 5. I love the sequence of numbers here for you guys. Okay, Aries, I of course appreciate your likes, subscribes, and shares. I will be here for you next month. In the meantime, go ahead and check out that description box. I have lots of information there for you, including all the decks I use and a little deeper into the spread and how I got to become what it is today, which is based on the medicine wheel, but I have added a lot to it. I would invite you to my group because I have lots of free resources in there, including getting to hang out with me. So I will see you all in there, or I will see you next month. Have a good month, and we'll see you then. Bye.